You are sitting in a booth at a dimly lit bistro, the ambient jazz music pressing against your eardrums like a dull ache. Across from you, an old friend is recounting a promotion, their mouth moving with rehearsed enthusiasm, their eyes darting to the glowing rectangle on the table every few seconds. You nod at the right intervals. You offer the appropriate smiles. You perform the role of a human being perfectly, yet inside, you are a ghost haunting your own skin. You have become a master of the fake appointment, a connoisseur of hollow proximity. You are physically present, yet you feel as though you are observing the world through a thick pane of frosted glass, forever reaching out but never quite making contact. This isn't just boredom, it is a profound, creeping sense of dissolution. You wonder if anyone would notice if you simply stopped speaking altogether, or if the conversation would continue, a self-sustaining loop of polite emptiness, regardless of your existence. The silence between your sentences is not peaceful, it is a chasm you are too exhausted to bridge. You analyze the rhythm of your own breathing, trying to sync it with the cadence of the conversation, but you feel like a malfunctioning machine trying to mimic the warmth of an organic life. Every question you ask is a calculated move to keep the momentum going, a defense mechanism against the terrifying prospect of true vulnerability. If you were to say what you actually felt, that you feel utterly untethered, that the weight of adulthood feels like wearing a lead suit underwater, you know exactly what would happen. They would offer a platitude. They would suggest a change in diet or a new hobby. They would retreat, because the truth is a mirror no one wants to hold. So, you fold your internal chaos into a neat, small box and stow it away behind your teeth. The irony is suffocating. You are surrounded by people you have known for a decade, yet you have never felt more singular, more terrifyingly isolated. You are drowning in a room full of oxygen. As the dinner drags on, the sensory details of the room begin to feel alien. The clinking of silverware against porcelain sounds like shards of glass breaking in a void. You look at your friend's hands as they gesture, and for a fleeting second, you cannot comprehend the biology of it, how flesh and bone move to convey meaning that, in the grand scheme of things, feels entirely weightless. You find yourself overthinking the geography of your own posture. Are your shoulders too tense? Is your gaze too intense, or perhaps too vacant? You are hyper-aware of the mask, the rigid architecture of your facial muscles that you have spent years perfecting. It is an exhausting performance, this dance of social etiquette. You check your own phone, not because you have a message, but to mirror the behavior of the world around you, a mimicry designed to blend in with the landscape of disconnection. You are terrified that if you drop the act, the hollowness will become visible to everyone, a black hole opening in the center of the table. There is a specific kind of violence in these interactions. It is not a physical confrontation, it is the slow, grinding erosion of the self. Every time you sacrifice your truth for the sake of social comfort, a piece of your authenticity flakes away like old paint. You find yourself envying the people who seem to genuinely occupy their lives, who laugh without scanning their internal state for a hidden sorrow, who listen without interpreting every word as a potential threat or a performative gesture. Your internal monologue is a frantic, overlapping chorus of doubts. Why is this so hard? Why does intimacy feel like a language you once spoke fluently but have now forgotten, leaving only disjointed syllables? You try to remember the last time you felt truly seen, not heard, not acknowledged, but witnessed. The memory is cold and distant, a faded Polaroid of a person you barely recognize as yourself. You are living in the echo of a life you once owned, haunting the spaces where you used to belong. Sometimes, in the dead of night, you lie awake and map out the trajectory of your loneliness. It isn't a sudden descent, it is a slow, methodical retreat. It began with small concessions, a suppressed opinion here, a hidden struggle there, until you eventually curated a persona so pristine, so unthreatening, that it became impossible for anyone to actually reach you. You are the architect of your own isolation. You built the walls high and wide, decorating them with the bright, shiny trinkets of social success, hoping that if you looked enough like a person who had it all together, the loneliness would eventually starve to death. But it didn't. It grew fat on the silence. It thrives on the fake appointments, the dinners where you speak but say nothing, the connections that remain stuck on the surface like oil on water. You are a ghost, not because you are dead, but because you have been absent from your own life for so long that you've forgotten how to inhabit it. The check arrives. The ritual of payment, the final pleasantries, the calculated effort to ensure that the departure is as smooth as the arrival. You stand up, and the relief of being alone is almost physical, a cool breeze hitting a feverish brow. Yet, as you walk to your car, the silence of the night air is just as deafening as the chatter of the restaurant. You realize that the problem was never the restaurant, the friend, or the conversation. The problem is the internal distance you have cultivated, a chasm you have spent so much time reinforcing that you have forgotten how to cross it. You are not just disconnected from them, you are a stranger to yourself. You have spent so much energy pretending to be present that you have no energy left to actually exist. The realization is heavy, a lead weight settling into your chest, but it is also the first honest thing you have felt all evening. You are alone, and for the first time in a long time, you are not trying to hide it from yourself. Dressed in a crowd, naked in the soul. A room full of noise, a life full of holes.